we just came back from Black Widow. Well, overall, Daya he's okay with it. I enjoyed it because I think it did what it needed to do for a Black Widow movie. But that was about it. Like, I don't think it was an amazing.
I want to give it a 7 out of 10. Like, that's on my scale. But it's kind of lands at a 6.
It's hard. I gotta. The way that I try and compare these solo movies is I try and compare how good is it compared to the first Iron Man, right? Because if you go back and look at the first Iron Man, you're like, wow, some of it was really good, but there was a lot of parts that you're like,
it's better than the first Captain America.
Mm-hmm.
It's not as good.
And that's compared to the solo movies. Because when you compare it to the Avengers and Endgame, it's like, bro, nothing stands up.
I think the closest thing it wants to be, I think it wants to be basically more Winter Soldier, but it doesn't do it.
Yeah.
Because even the way they start the movie, it was just like,
I did have fun trying to like figure out what moves Taskmaster was pulling from, because Taskmaster did go Winter Soldier for a little while.
One of them was the fight between Captain America and possessed Clint Barton, because you see it on the screen.
That's right. Yeah.
We shouldn't say anymore because I don't want to spoil it for people.
Yeah, we're not spoiling.
Yeah.
Just Taskmaster, he does.
I think it's worth the price of a ticket.
What, You don't think Black Widow is worth the price?
I said I do. I do think it's worth the price of a ticket.
I was like, are you kidding me? No, I definitely.
What's the point of a Black Widow movie? I think it filled out her backstory.
Yeah, they've been wanting to do this movie since 2012. I think was when they've been wanting to do this kind of movie. Great. It doesn't matter if she's still dead in the MCU or not. It sets up a lot of characters for other things going on.
Yeah.
As well as it explains. It actually, it does add to her character, and I think it was a story that
I agree.
It was a story I'm happy was told.
I agree that it probably should have been done before her death, but when they're 23 movies in, and they're making movies based on comic books, this isn't new to how comic books function as a medium themselves, right? The comic books will go back and retcon things or whatever they need to do to tell a good story, right? And I think that part's fine. Right?
I honestly originally thought WandaVision and Falcon and the Winter Soldier was going to take place the same time that Black Widow did. I thought they were just going to do, now that they did Endgame and everything, they were going to do that time gap between Civil War and Infinity War. They were just going to go through the characters and tell individual stories.
That'd be cool. I would have liked that a lot.
That's what I thought that they were going to do with
especially
those.
If they.
That's what
I think that would have been a better Captain America and Winter Soldier story than what they did do for the TV show. Honestly.
I totally agree.
But whatever.
I think it would have been more interesting because because all of them were on the run. Winter Soldier, Falcon were on the run. Wanda was on the run. Vision technically was not, but he was running along with her anyways.
Yeah.
So, and then, and then they had the Black Widow movie, and I thought it was all these are all the stories that were told in between those two. So, but anyways, we're not talking about that.
That is not the movie we're reviewing today.
Are we just, I guess we can, is that our opening? Do we talk about Black Widow as our opening to the actual thing we're talking about?
It's on you.
Not a bad idea. You know? I don't know. I've thought about changing up our intro instead of having a real intro. Be like, hey-oh. I mean, we do get to that point, but
it could be your tease. This could be your tease for your next episode. It's on the docket.
We'll probably, as I said, we'll probably do Fast and the Furious next episode.
But I mean, I feel like, are you just not going to do Black Widow?
No, we probably will.
Okay.
But it might be 2 weeks out. So I told Nessa we have a lot of movies on the docket coming out in theaters, so we might not be doing any old stuff for a little while. We'll see.
That's great. I love that.
Yeah. It's exciting.
Old stuff's fun too.
So, but no, I've thought about changing the intro of this, where we instead of actually just starting with that is a lot of podcasts do is they just start with them. Open. Yeah, well, they just start with them just talking about random stuff because people tend to have conversations before the podcast, and they're just that was interesting enough. We'll just leave that in.
We do that for Revelations sometimes.
Right, exactly.
Interest for Revelations.
Hey, Larry, thanks for the sub there. All right, well, hey-o, welcome to Positively Reviewed, episode 9. We are 1 away from 10. We have missed 1 week. Nessa's fault. And guess what? Guess whose fault it is that she's not here again? Also Nessa. So I mentioned I think in the last episode or the E3 episode, we talked about how, well, last episode we did mention that Nessa probably won't be for this one, but talked about how we were bringing on a guest host as well as someone who would be the co-host when one of us could not make the show, which was perfect because that tended to be the case. Nessa is currently moving into her new house, so she is a little busy. And so we brought our boy. Our boy, Daya, is here to be the co-host today. So hello, Daya.
How's it going, people? I'm back again. Second episode guest hosting. If you missed my first one, that was about 2 episodes ago. We did
E3.
Yeah,
Xbox.
we talked about E3.
Xbox showcase for E3.
Yeah.
So, anyways, though, other than that, let's talk about what we're gonna do, because we mentioned earlier. I don't know if I'm gonna put that in the podcast or not, but we did mention that we went to Black Widow, but we're not talking about Black Widow today. We're talking about America the Motion Picture. If you guys did not hear about, well, okay, hold on. Before we get into that, I guess we should talk about what do you know what we do in this podcast? Are you aware? Yeah, you know what? I want you to give us a rundown of what you think we do on this podcast.
On the positively reviewed podcast.
Doing great so far. Keep going.
We take a piece of media and we review it positively. That's what we do on this podcast.
That's it. That's the whole thing.
I did it, John.
Well done. So yeah, if you are new to this podcast, positively reviewed is that exact idea. We take a piece of media. We describe why it's the greatest thing. And we do any piece of media, whether we've done conferences, we've done now a music live stream, we do movies, TV shows. It's kind of the main thing and we just talk about it in a positive way. Because you know what? There's enough negativity in the world. Everyone just wants to hate on everything. And that's not what we do here. Let's talk about all the good things and why we waste our time watching these amazing shows that spent lots of money to make them and how we at least enjoyed. Maybe you don't like it, but maybe you enjoyed spending the time not liking it.
Yeah. No, hell yeah.
So, and now normally Nessa does all of the... Oh, I didn't ask the question. The question. That's always the open. All right, we'll do the question. I'm all over the place. This is a great episode so far.
It's awesome.
All right, here's the question. We're talking about America the Motion Picture, which is about history. So, American history.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the classic hangout question. If you could pick 3 people who are dead to hang out with, anyone from any time, from any place, doing anything, who would you pick? Who are you doing?
One of the robots from Daft Punk because they got blown up.
Okay. Good start.
David Bowie.
All right.
I want one more. Andre the Giant.
When did Andre the Giant pass away?
A while ago.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah, that's a while ago.
Yeah. It was a while ago. Why those 3 people?
I think they're all really good at what they do. Andre the Giant was a cool wrestler and also was a cool persona. Same thing with David Bowie, but in terms of music instead of wrestling. And I don't know, the Daft Punk robot died and it makes me sad.
Okay. What am I picking? Yeah, I have to pick real people, right? I assume.
I took our one fake answer, so yeah.
Yeah, I guess. All right. I always want to hang out with someone like Genghis Khan.
I was gonna say that actually, but then
Genghis Khan is
wanted to switch to different
BA, man, and then him. Let's do Joan of Arc.
Nice, good choice.
I've always been a fan of Joan of Arc. She badass there. And then who would my last one be? I think. Should I do someone maybe a little more recent? I think.
I missed one.
Yeah? Well, go for it while I think of this last one.
Should have said MF Doom.
Okay. I'm gonna do... This might be a weird one. This one might surprise you.
Go for it.
Notorious Big.
That's a good one. That's a great one.
Yeah, because it's just that mind, you know?
It could have said Tupac Shakur. Now I feel bad.
Yeah, it's true. The mind that guy had is...
We would throw a good party for dead famous people if we could resurrect them. If we had necromancy on our side.
If we could throw a good party for them. Yeah. I like it with it. All right. Well, that's the question asked, but now we'll talk about we'll get all the stuff that people hear about. But if you're new, we do have social medias. If you want to follow us at Pause Reviewed Pod, POS Reviewed POD on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, all of those things. We do post the live stream that we do. So we're recording this live. We normally record on Tuesday, but we're recording on Thursday. Not that you guys would know if you're listening to the audio, because it's coming out on Friday, because I have to edit it tonight, which will be fine.
I'm so sorry.
No, it'll be totally fine. I don't mind it. So doing that, but we do post the actual video version on YouTube and stuff if you want to watch it there. It's also on Twitch archives on my personal channel as well as Nessa's, except Nessa's not streaming it today, so it won't be on hers. So, but just an FYI, we are going to avoid spoilers the best we can. I feel there are definitely things we're going to talk about in this because I feel you need to explain what the heck is going on with the movie that we're talking about. But understand that this is also not a super fair and balanced assessment of movies, TV shows, right? We are talking about everything in a positive light. We're trying to leave out the negative. We might have a few small quips to throw at it here and there. But if you're looking for like a 100% honest review, this is probably not the place for it. So just be aware of that. But then let's get into it. America, the motion picture. America.
The motion picture.
The motion picture. So this came out, for those who don't know, this came out on Netflix July 4th, 2021. So it just came out a few days ago. And it was made by the people who did Archer, Into the Spider-Verse, The Expendables.
Just a really wide...
Yeah, so like the director was Matt Thompson, who was from Archer. The writer for it was Dave Callahan, who does a lot of Marvel and DC stuff. He did Wonder Woman 1984.
Oh, I mean, great.
But then did do Captain Marvel. So, probably two of the best movies in the Marvel and DC universe, as we are very well aware.
100%.
So. But yeah, America the Motion Picture it's the greatest piece of media ever created. This movie is a retelling, a reinventing of American history. It is based on real facts, and the best way to describe it, we'll get into this in the meat, but the best way to describe this is it is the most factually accurate and inaccurate conversation about America that's probably ever been had.
You know what it feels like?
Bad trip.
It feels like if you grew up in the 2000s, you heard of a puppet movie called Team America World Police.
A what?
Puppet movie. It was made by the same guys that made it has a bunch of puppets in it. It's made by the same people that made South Park. The reason I'm mentioning it though is because it has a very specific view of America. It's where the America Fuck Yeah song got popular.
Gotcha.
Yeah, if you remember that. But it feels like if those guys were telling how America was conceived.
Right. Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's a hectic.
A lot happens in an hour and a half.
I'll just we'll get into the show eventually. I'll lead you in. The teaser I'll throw out with you is Benedict Arnold is a werewolf.
I forgot about that.
So how can you forget about that? What the?
Because when it happened, it shocked me, and I was like, "This, I'm gonna buy into this." And then by the end of it, I kind of it left my brain, and then I have to remember it now. So
right,
that was the whole thing.
Well, before we get in, we got the facts section, but before we do that, news for thought. You got any newsworthy stuff we want to talk about? We do this for filler just in case we need to fill time. I have no idea if we need to fill time, but I don't have any news. Black Widow, go watch that, I guess. That's the news. We finally got our first Marvel movie in like 2 years.
Yeah. I can't really. Yeah,
was
I don't
it?
have any news
We had the state of play today from Sony. I heard that was a bit of a letdown. Nintendo had their OLED Switch. Woo, I guess.
Woo!
Yay! Woohoo! Definitely going to not buy that personally. I think if you don't have a Switch, it'll be great for you.
If I can get my hands on one, I'll give my Switch to my nephew. That's what I plan to do.
That's a way to do it too.
But I don't think I'm going to give you. I have zero confidence in my ability to secure myself an OLED Switch.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's a good question. I wonder if it's going to be as bad. I mean, the Switches have been sold out for a while, but I feel it was never as bad as like PS5s. I think PS5s got it the worst. Honestly, the Series X's and stuff are pretty okay. They're still tough to get, but they're easier than PlayStations, I think. I got my 3070 and then I never looked back. Okay.
Yeah, so I went through the pain once, and after that, I'm just, if it happens, if it works out for people, good for them. If not, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I wonder if the Switch is going to get hit by this, because again, they were sold out pretty much at the beginning of quarantine, but I don't know if they kind of came back. And
I walked into not this Target, not our local Target, but the one in the city next to ours.
Okay.
And in front of my eyes, I saw the Animal Crossing Switch. So I don't know what that says.
They are. I feel they were pretty good about making stock. I don't know if I'm sure they're struggling from the chip shortage, but they didn't seem to be that bad compared to the other two. I felt they made a really big surplus of consoles in general. So
it's hard to say, especially with Nintendo, who does a lot of weird stuff when it comes to producing physical things.
Yeah.
So.
All right, facts section. Now, Nessa is usually the one who reads the facts because I've read the facts, so I know what they are. So this is you. I have them pulled up.
All right.
We have a little outline. Yes, I make an outline every episode. These are facts about the movie in a way, is the best way to say it. So we'll start out with Nessa's favorite one, and I think it's now everyone's favorite one, is how much money was spent making this masterpiece.
And so fact number one comes as so. Apparently, there is no real idea of how much this cost to
Came out too recently. They haven't talked about it yet. So.
The average cost of an animated movie, though, is apparently anywhere from $10,000 to $200,000 per minute of actual finished product. So... and that boils down to about $50,000 to $50,000 per second, depending on if you're in the $10,000 scale or on the.
But that doesn't add up. 50,000 doesn't equal 200,000 in 60
Maybe
seconds.
they included CGI in that.
Yeah,
budget.
well, I assume I have no idea what that is, but yeah, when I saw that, they're like, it's 10,000 to 200,000. I wonder if it's a typo. Right? Does 5,000 equal 200,000 in 60?
I don't want to do the math.
I don't either.
I'm too tired.
I didn't do the math. That's why.
Well,
so I was like, math doesn't work here. That's what I know.
But because we know the movie's about an hour and 90 or about an hour and 30.
Yeah, hour and 38 minutes.
They cost anywhere from $980,000 to $19,600,000, which could buy you a floating seahorse in Dubai and a Bugatti Chiron.
Oh, there's more. So this was, it keeps going. It's a whole, I found a list of like 10 things you can buy for $20 million. And I thought it was going to be like things that cost $10 million. No, they just were like, here's things that cost $1 to $2 million. Buy all 10 of them.
Oh my God. So yeah, either floating seahorse in Dubai, a Bugatti, or Orange County home, a Texas doomsday bunker, a Greek getaway villa, Richard Miles RM5602 Sapphire watch. Apparently Joker wants one of those. Learjet 45, a Zambon is a Zambonga. I don't even know how to say that. Zamboanga yacht. Taste of Diamonds champagne. Is that champagne with diamonds in it or something?
No. So the bottle is they have like basically a Superman-ish looking logo on it for them, but it's got a Swarovski or whatever a diamond encrusted into the bottle. So you can pop the diamond out and it's a diamond, but that's where all the money goes to, is that one diamond.
A Spanish holiday home in La Meta Alquiente. I'm not sure if I said that right.
Lamada.
Yeah.
Alcante.
Alcante. Or a mega mansion in Hidden Hills, California.
Yeah. The mega mansion costs $20 million.
Oh, so you can, for the production of this movie, you could buy a mega mansion.
Apparently, Hidden Hills, California is one of the most expensive zip codes in the
I'm not surprised.
Entire United States. If it's a $20 million home. Yeah. So, I don't know. Have you seen those, like, they said floating, it said floating seahorse. This is why I'm like, I think it was supposed to say sea house. I don't know.
It could be a vessel.
I don't know if that's what it was called. Well, that's what it looked like. It looked really cool. It looked like a bachelor pad almost. It was a floating pad.
Do you live in the stomach of the seahorse and it just goes up like a tower and goes
in
down?
A way, right? It looked just like a floating house in the middle of the ocean.
But it looked like a seahorse.
In a way, yeah.
So they probably
it had a helipad on top of it and everything.
Jesus Christ!
It looked really nice though, and I want one. To be honest, it was nice enough.
I would want one too, to then sell it, to then do other stuff with the money.
They had the Texas Doomsday Bunker, which is just an underground, like it's just an underground home. It had TVs and it wasn't even good. I was like, this looks like a 3-star motel too.
When you have so much money. What else do you do with it? You know what I mean? Like
Doomsday Bunker.
But like we usually have here, we're gonna compare to the cost of raising a child to the age of 18 in Germany, which is about $117,060. Which is a note here. Joker says the Halo number.
Yeah, whoa, 117.
117. Okay.
Yeah, so it's the cost to raise a child to 18 in Germany. In euros.
So what is that? That's like...
So I'm saying it equals, at the lowest amount, that $98,000. If it costs only $98,000 to make this movie, which there's absolutely no way. Not with the actors who are in this, but let's just say, for argument's sake, we talked about animation. For every... animated films are costed out in the terms of minutes and seconds. So... at the lowest it could possibly cost is $98,000, which there's no way. But it would be at 98,000 euros, or it's 98,712 euros. That's what it costs to raise a kid to age 18, but that excludes ages 6 to 12.
Oh!
So you don't include that. If you actually include that, that's like 156,000 euros.
So you can either raise what, like 1 to 10 kids from the ages of 12 to 18 in Germany. Is that what you're telling me? If we decided to do something else, the money that we made from what?
You want to just raise a kid from like 1 to 6 years old or something, and that costs, I don't know, that costs like 46 or 42,000 euros, something along those lines. So.
Jesus Christ.
Yep, which is about, it equals $117,000. And 117, whoa.
See, what is it? John C117, right? That's the...
Yeah, John 117 is his thing. Let me see. I'm going to pull up, if I can find it real fast. Here you go, 10 expensive things you could buy. So, sorry for... I'll post some of these on our Twitter, so you can see what... I'll post all 10 of these. So that's what I'm talking about. It's not really a seahorse, but it says floating sea house. That's what it looks like.
I'm assuming they just called it seahorse.
Yeah, I'm guessing, but it just looks like a weird floating...
That would be cool to own one of those.
It looks pretty awesome.
I wouldn't buy a Bugatti.
Me neither.
Just Bugatti. I love how it's like...
That's the Doomsday Bunker.
It doesn't look too bad. You made it sound way worse.
It's true. Look at that washer, though. That washer is like from 1980s.
Yeah. Could be worse.
So... The watch.
Damn, that Greek house, though.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Pretty. Hey, your money goes far in other countries.
Yeah.
You got it. So, that's that sapphire watch we were talking about. Jet, yacht. That's the diamond. It's got that insignia. So, I'll post all these pictures And that's why you should probably follow Pause Reviewed Pod on Twitter so you can get all the external.
You guys don't have an
things
Instagram?
we have. Oh, we do. I'll post it there too.
Yeah.
But if you do Twitter, you might as well follow the Instagram, right? I mean, it's one and the same.
It's the same
thing.
username, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's the same thing everywhere.
Perfect.
So, all right, we got the rapid fire facts section. So these are kind of the super basic ones that you can find about. Again, these whenever we do new, it's harder for me to find facts whenever we do newer stuff, especially ones that are more side. I'm sure I'll have no problem finding stuff for Black Widow, right? Or Fast and the Furious, because those have a huge catalog of older stuff that I can search from. But something like this, brand new thing, only been out for 4 days at this point, kind of hard to find some facts, but hit us with it.
The first fact is this is the first adult animation Netflix original title, so apparently they haven't done a lot of American-oriented adult films.
Yeah, they have a lot of animation on animated stuff on Netflix, but yeah, this is the first adult original. Netflix original.
This is the fourth animated project in which Will Forte plays Abraham Lincoln. This past projects include Clone High, great stuff, I love that. Lego Movie, also a good movie, and worked on by what's their names? Lord and Miller, who also worked on this, and the Lego Movie 2, which I still haven't seen. The reoccurring...
Oh no, I did see it. I was like, did I see the second Lego movie? I did. I don't remember. The first one was the good one. So.
Yeah, that's what everyone says. That's why I never watched the second one.
Yeah.
The reoccurring joke of George Washington misattributing quotes to the Bible is loosely based on true events. Washington was known for using familiar biblical idioms in his regular vocabulary. His most used passage being a Hebrew blessing, that every man shall sit safely under his vine and under his fig tree. So I did not know.
I didn't realize that was real either. That's why I did. And that was another fact. I don't know if you pass over is that there's the sledgehammer the blacksmith uses has the words "property of John Henry" engraved on the side. Who John Henry was an American folk hero known for winning a rock chiseling race against a steam powered rock drilling machine.
Yeah.
What? And but after his victory, he died from exhaustion with the hammer in his hand.
Yep.
And so I guess the blacksmith was loosely based on him.
That's what I thought it was.
Literally working yourself to death.
I mean,
to beat a machine.
The man was better than machine.
Yeah, that ain't true no more. Sorry.
And then usually we like to do a deep dive into trying to find a fun fact about the film or something, and we really couldn't get one this time.
No, there was no deep fact.
I think the deep facts are all within the content of the movie, if you will.
We do. If you're gonna watch this, which we'll get to it, but I do recommend watching this. Just pay attention. This is not one that you want to be like on your phone or doing something else with.
A lot of visual gags.
There's a lot of visual jokes in it. There's a lot of just internal things. There's a lot of pop culture references in it. So it's one of those, you're rewarded for knowing American history and pop culture very well.
Yep.
They have jokes constantly throughout this. So pay attention to pretty much every second of this. Don't blink. The entire movie, just duct tape your eyes open. And just that's my crazy deep one for you, is you will get more deep knowledge stuff in this than anything from this movie. So a lot of side jokes and stuff. So, but that's the facts section.
Yeah,
we've done it. There's not much else to it.
It's time to get into the meaty meat.
Well, there's the fill me up section first,
but that says that we only need to do that if we're bad at timing.
I don't know what is our timing looking like. Yeah, we're looking okay. I mean, usually we go for another 10 minutes before we get to this point. But okay. So we got what did I call this the last time? I called it the swerve and derve because I don't like the fill me up anymore. It's too.
I don't remember what you came
I don't mind
with.
it, but it's something along those lines. So we got a whole thing. Here's what we can chat about during this section that we're definitely not doing to fill. Okay, hit me with it.
Did you like the Fast and Furious references?
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay, as soon as there was a bunch. On,
they had a Scrubs reference in there. They had a
Scrubs reference.
It was on the rules. It literally had one that said no scrubs.
Damn it. I missed
that.
The rules are so quick because they were only on one poster, and I didn't want to pause to read them. I just wanted to keep going.
We could go. I mean, we could talk. This entire podcast could just be talking about all the little jokes that they had.
I liked Paul Bunyan and his giant ox. I thought that was awesome.
They had that, which they do show in the trailer. That's true. So, well, I guess we did talk about. We'll go.
I like Simon Pegg as
Simon Pegg was King James.
Yeah.
So that was another fact, is that during this time it was technically, so King James was technically from, I think the one that was shown in this was King James the First, was the actual character that was played, but that one was from like the 1300s or 1400s, and this movie takes place in the 1700s, right? So during that time, I think it was King Henry III who was actually the king of England at the time. So technically it was a miss. They had a different king during it, but
I know
Simon Pegg.
My American history isn't too bad. Like, I remember a fair bit of it.
That's why
I have no idea if Benedict Arnold was the one that actually. I don't think he had any involvement in this whatsoever. I think they just stuck him in because they could.
Benedict Arnold? Yeah, no, I mean that was his.
He was a general at the time.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I just didn't remember that.
Well, that's what I will say, that history was not a subject I was very good at in school. It was one of my least favorite, and I was very bad at it because it's just a lot of fact remembering, and I thought it was all useless information. But now I regret it because of this movie. I mean, this movie alone, it's the only reason I wish I knew American history better.
You got to see Sam Adams slam some beers, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that.
Also, what's his name? Jason Mantzoukas? I don't know.
Mantzoukas.
Yeah, Mantzoukas. Thank you.
Mantzoukas. Yeah.
I
like him a lot.
I've been hearing his voice a lot because he's been doing a lot of voice acting.
Yeah.
Because he plays Rex in Invincible.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, and I really liked him in that role.
Was he? Oh yeah, he's Rex.
Yeah, he's Rex. Right. He throws he's Gambit basically. He's a Gambit clone in that show. So I like his work a lot. Channing Tatum surprised me. I didn't. Yeah. Like I knew it was Channing Tatum, but then I forgot halfway through the movie, and then I looked it up again and was like, "Oh, it's Channing Tatum." Fuck.
So I guess we should get in for actually getting into the meat. We'll just we'll as I said, we'll swerve and derve. We'll swerve in and then we'll swerve out. Sure. Whatever it is. But the cast for this is insane. I'm just gonna read off some of the people and who they played because it's very good. Which I don't even need to look at this because all these actors are people I know pretty well. Yeah. I know Daya loved Judy Greer's character.
Dude, I heard she plays Cheryl in Archer, and I heard her voice, and it just brings me like a certain sense of glee.
I always remember her from Arrested Development. She plays a character.
Oh yeah,
so that's where I remember her from. But she's done a lot of stuff too. She's another person that does a lot of voice acting. But also, she just pops up in random movies all the time.
I was happy. When the trailer came out for this movie and they had showed that the blacksmith was going to be played by Killer Mike.
Right.
He hasn't done voice acting. He does a lot of rapping. He raps for Run the Jewels and he does that kind of stuff. And I like a lot of his music. So I was like, I have to watch this to see how he does, and he was okay. It was definitely his first time voice acting, and they didn't do anything unique with it, but it was fine.
Channing Tatum is George Washington. I guess we didn't say his character. He's George Washington, so he's the main character in this. You got Will Forte as Abraham Lincoln, like we mentioned, for a little while, and so Simon Pegg was King James. And then the one that it took me I don't know why it took me a minute to realize, but then I heard it and then you can never think. Andy Samberg was
I had a hard time. I knew it was him, but I had a hard time connecting it.
He went really hard on the accent too.
Yeah.
He oh god, what did he say in it? He was emphasizing the certain British sounds or something like that. He was super stereotypical British. So who else was in it? Olivia Munn.
Yep. Played Tesla or
Thomas Edison.
Thomas Edison, yeah.
Thomas Edison. So
Geronimo. I don't know. I don't know who. Like, I don't know the voice actor that was behind Geronimo. Like, I don't know that person ever. Like, I've never heard them do anything before.
Trujillo?
Yeah.
I don't know. I recognize. I mean, that last name. I feel. I don't know if he's related to like Joe Lo. Was Joe Lo Trujillo?
Hands in the air for that one, bud.
Who's a? Oh no, it's different spelling. Never mind. I don't know. Regardless, yeah, this cast. It's a great cast. It's a great cast of people who played a bunch of American heroes and stuff. The jokes are, if I'll say, if you like Archer, then it's very. They go a little further than Archer humor,
especially in the absurdist. Like,
it's very absurd. So, like we mentioned, I wish I knew American history a little better. I do know pop culture, so I got a lot of the references. I mean, we said, there was.
I'm assuming you got some of the the more obvious jokes, like the John Wilkes merchandise booth joke.
Yeah,
like that was
that one.
Yeah.
Yep. They again. I'm trying to remember all the movies that they made fun of. Oh, I mean, they did do one thing with the bald eagle. They turned the right at the beginning.
What was that? What is that a reference to?
It was, oh shoot, what was the movie? I can't think of it off my head right now.
I mean, the ending is basically just Avengers.
Right, yeah. Oh, it's definitely an Endgame. Yeah, they did an Endgame thing for it. We did mention Fast and the Furious. So like we said, this is the most factually accurate. Like they did a bunch of all the best way to describe is the overall, all the big ideas they push, all fake. But it was the very fine details that are actually factually accurate. Like they made a joke about George Washington inventing peanut butter. That's a real thing, you know? They make the tiny, so it's all the tiny details that they have throughout this that are all actually true. And it's basically all the forgotten history that no one really discusses. It's that pop trivia stuff that no one realizes is true.
Well, there's also make fun of stuff that is believed to be true. Like George Washington never cut down a cherry tree.
No,
that's not a real thing. But since that story is so often told, they definitely had a lot of jokes referring to that, and that was pretty good. They did do a hackers reference, right? That was the whole.
It was they had the Enigma machine.
Yeah.
From technically, but the movie. So the movie that scene was actually based off of.
What, Swordfish, maybe?
Swordfish. That was it. It's Swordfish.
It looks like Swordfish.
And that's Samuel, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So it was Samuel L. Jackson doing the hacking, I think, was that scene. But they did do a whole useless scene in that.
That was great.
Oh god, and I know we're definitely into spoilers, but again, we're just giving small trust me, we could say everything about this and it still would not make
too much. There's too much going on.
Yeah,
like it's way too much to describe.
Like we said, Benedict Arnold is a werewolf.
Well, Thomas Edison's a woman. George Washington has chainsaw blade arms. He straight up felt like he looked like that looks like a Tekken character because there's a girl that can do that in Tekken, and I was just like, what the? I do love that they make fun of the fact that he has to put gasoline in them to make them work.
Yeah,
he's like, damn, I ran out of gasoline. And you're like, what? Like, oh man,
what kind of sick man drains gasoline
out of someone else's chainsaws while they're falling asleep?
Yeah. God, what else? As I said, we could go all day about all the references. Oh, I guess we didn't mention there's cars in this. Like they made Fast and the Furious, but they're not cars.
They're racing horses.
They're racing horses. Yeah, they're racing horses, but the horses when they had the Lone Ranger scene with Geronimo was the Lone Ranger.
Geronimo's intro is great.
And he was driving a motorcycle, but it's a horse.
That got me
with just giant, like the lowrider horse with giant handlebars on the side. So,
they referenced the horse drift meme. That's a reference to when they're drifting the horse under a carriage. It's a reference to an old Bollywood meme. That was really popular for a while.
Was it?
Yeah.
I know that scene. I mean, they had the whole arm. What was that? That whole scene was based off of a movie.
They did Mission Impossible, by the way.
Yes, I was gonna say they had Mission Impossible. I thought about you because we went
to go see that recently, and I was like, oh my god, they're doing Mission Impossible.
I guess we didn't explain exactly. Like we said, this is a ridiculous movie. It's the most factual and factually inaccurate movie at the same time. But the best way to describe this movie is imagine if all of American history happened in one moment in time. They just combined all of American history and threw it into 1776. That was what they did.
They built the Washington Monument and then the Lincoln Memorial right after one after another.
Right,
it was great.
And and including all the references and everything. You know, they had people making up songs and stuff that are popular these days, pop songs and stuff. That
was Bruce Springsteen references,
right? Yeah, they had a lot of Bruce Springsteen. So, but it's the same thing. Imagine all the stereotype American stuff, and that goes for even like I think the biggest thing was the TV shows and the movies that they referenced were things that when you look at, you're like, yeah, that's a very American staple, kind of show, But imagine all of these things all happen in one moment.
I mean, the copy for this movie goes like this. It's a
we didn't do the copy.
Yeah, it's a 2021 animated science fiction parody black comedy film. So that's a lot of things all condensed into one. It's loosely based on the founding fathers of the United States of America during the American Revolution. It's directed by Matt Thompson and written by Dave Callahan. The film is rated R. The film is a rated R, untold, historically accurate retelling of George Washington's fight against the British. In an alternate world and timeline, President George Washington must go to war to free the country from the British Army to retrieve the Declaration and save his wife Martha and avenge the death of his best friend Abraham Lincoln. But to do so, he must recruit rebel rouser Sam Adams, Chinese-American female scientist Thomas Edison, fastest racist in the colonies, Paul Revere, native chief Geronimo, and blacksmith John Henry to rally more allies for the American Revolution and defeat King James and the traitor Benedict Arnold.
So that's the copy. If that made any sense to you, the movie makes less sense. So
it's something you just like. You should watch it at least once, one way through, just for the comedic value. But if you ever just put it on in the background, you can look up and see something interesting, probably.
Yeah. Yeah, again, this thing, the animation and stuff was good. They did, the dream sequence scene that they had, where they were making fun of spending the budget.
That was pretty good.
That was based on Reservoir Dogs, I think.
Really?
Is the room at the Reservoir Dogs, right? That's the one with Mr. Yeah. Reservoir Dogs. It's exactly the hideout. They got even the furniture where it is and stuff. The same place.
Oh my god, you're right.
Yeah.
Oh, how did I miss that? Oh no, I feel so dumb. God damn it. We already talked about the characters.
Yeah, we talked about the people who played.
We kind of described the world.
Is that what they... Is that what they... Benedict Cosby Arnold?
I don't know what the joke is there.
I think they're making fun of Bill Cosby, but
no, I think there's something else to it.
Is that actually that? Maybe that's his middle name. I don't know. I don't know. Either way.
Oh, they have the voice actor for the horse. That's funny.
Clyde. Yeah.
Legacy, action, vision, or something like that. What the heck we wanted to rave about and nerd out about?
Who was the nurse that they had in it?
Oh,
I always forget the nurse's name because
they reference Betsy Ross, but I don't think that's Betsy Ross. It could be.
I think that is Betsy Ross. I think that's
so. Exactly she made the flag, and she's also a super steampunk nurse who can do anything.
No.
Oh, I forgot that he turns into RoboCop at one point. Paul Revere becomes RoboCop at one point.
Yep.
Robo Centaur Cop.
Yeah. Wasn't Paul Revere not the racist? It says fastest racist. That's right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because he thinks the word racist in the story means
racing horses.
To be a racist.
That's the Fast and Furious reference there.
God.
Oh. This is a movie I feel that you would want, and I'm not advocating we're in Washington, whatever.
to get
high,
do an enhanced viewing of, one might say.
Get drunk, watch it, something along those lines.
You can make a drinking game out of this movie really easily.
What would the drinking game be?
You would start with every time George Washington says John 3:16.
every time he makes a Bible reference.
Yeah, every time, or misattributes my Bible reference. I don't know. You could easily do it. Anytime Sam Adams talks about beer, you could do something.
Or
for
he's
that.
a racist.
Or is a racist.
Or a real racist.
Or a misogynist.
Yeah.
Anytime he says anything offensive ever.
Yeah.
God. It's weird. We went to go see a different movie at the start of this week that we thought we might review. And I was like...
Yeah, Zola.
Yeah.
So we went to go see Zola. We can talk about that a little bit if we want. I mean, it was...
Well, no, the reason I find it funny is the fact that I had brought 2 movies up, and both of them were just, like, very unique messes. Yeah. In their own very different ways.
Yeah. I like Zola. I'll be honest. I did.
I like Zola. I think there's things to like about America. I'm not a huge fan of it personally, but
America the Motion Picture.
Sorry, America the Motion Picture.
Not a lot of things to like about America as a whole.
So, but yeah, I mean, I think it does deserve more airplay, and the reason I think that is because I really do like Lord and Miller. I don't think this is their best product by like a country mile, easily.
Yeah.
Like, especially considering Spider-Verse, considering Lego Movie.
Right.
And, like, they've also worked on a lot of other stuff that, like, could have been better. They were originally the directors for Solo.
Was that story? Yeah, and then they were that was the people
they got
booted out of it, right?
Yeah, and then Ron Howard took over, which was a horrible choice.
Woo! Yeah,
I just don't think Ron Howard would deliver on that, and he didn't. So no. He's too.
I want to know if there is a cut out there of the original Solo.
I don't know if that production got shut down
and how early it got. I mean,
yeah,
I
because Edgar Wright had written all of the first Ant-Man movie technically.
That's right.
Yeah, and then he was supposed to direct it, but they didn't let him. Marvel wouldn't let him have enough creative control.
That's fair enough.
So
they can be. They got a lot of creative freedom in this one. That's for sure.
I hope so. And the thing is, like the advantage of being something like Netflix is that hopefully that means they'll do more of this kind of stuff. But if it doesn't get the plays they want, then they won't.
Oh, it's definitely not going to get the plays it wants. I think
it feels like they're already shoving it down. In the suggestions.
There was nothing. I mean, you didn't see it when it came up. I think it showed up in Netflix on the front page for July 4th, and that was it. I haven't seen it. I went because I watched this.
I had to dig. I had to search for it to find it to watch it. I had to
manually search for it. It's not even on like Trending Now or Netflix original shows or anything. It's not on any of those.
And I think it's because it averages out. All the reviews I've seen would have averaged out as a 5. I gave it a 5 personally, right? Because I think there's a lot of stuff to love. And there's a lot of stuff to not love.
Yeah. This is a movie that I think we talked about. You hate that you loved it.
But you're glad you went on the journey in the first place.
Right. I think it's definitely worth watching. As I said, get inebriated in some way, though. And watch it. I think you have more fun.
Enhanced viewings are definitely high suggested for this.
I love these kind of movies because, again, it makes me feel like a smart person.
What do you mean?
Even though I don't know American history, I pick out all the pop culture reference and I'm like, I get those. I got that.
I mean,
I get it. Some of them are obvious, but there's the small ones that I'm like, no one else would get that, but I get it.
You got me. I'm surprised I missed Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah, Reservoir Dogs.
Like, I'm really surprised about that. The Fast and Furious one, as soon as I saw it, I was like, I know what they're doing. They also reference Magic Mike a lot because a lot of people that worked on this also worked on Magic Mike.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what else there is. Like, it's hard. Again, there's probably so many things that we just don't remember.
I'm trying to think. Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. This is a movie that you almost want to watch again. Sadly.
Yeah.
To get it again. I think the Vietnam bar scene was funny.
The jokes about it that hurt in a very specific way, God, and I was like, "Damn, they're really digging in on this." Mm-hmm. It's like we should have never gone in the first place.
But we won.
Yeah, we definitely won.
We won.
Yeah, we definitely won. I mean, he lost an arm, but we won.
I think that was I don't want to say Rush Hour, but that scene was, again, almost every shot of this movie was based on other movies or TV shows. I'm sure there was a lot. I feel like most of it were based on other shots from movies and stuff. So I'm trying to remember. Like again, like I said, we can go all day.
This feels like the closest you've gotten to a challenge episode.
No, I feel we what are some of the other ones that we did? We did. Well, Cruella was one for Nessa.
How? The movie
I don't know. It was
okay.
So good.
Apples to oranges. This movie is definitely better than America the Motion Picture in my mind, at least. I'm just saying. Okay, I'm just saying.
Yeah, actually, I guess we haven't. We did Mr. Right, which was pretty good. I enjoyed it. I like Sam Rockwell though for that one. So we'll have to do. Maybe we'll have to do like a recap episode or something like that. Just talk about all old stuff and how we feel.
You gotta do a clip show at some point.
Yeah, clip show, of course. I mean, we should wait till we're a few seasons in, of course, right?
Yeah.
You don't want to pull out the clip show too early.
This is gonna go on forever.
Yeah,
we're gonna make 1,000 episodes. We're never gonna stop.
I hope that's the plan.
What else we got on this outline? Let's get through this. We gave our idea. We gave our ratings.
Have we? No. You gave a rating.
Yeah.
You gave a real rating.
Oh, okay. I'll give this. You know what this gets? This gets a. You give an American rating. This gets 1 silver bullet into 1 werewolf's head. That's what this gets. Make of that what you will.
Once again, more watch the movie. Watch the movie. Yeah, I was gonna say that it gets a 13
out of
colonies.
13 colonies?
13 colonies.
Out of 1 British rule?
Out of 1 British rule.
This gets a dinosaur, a Hulk Hogan, out of an American Revolution.
Was that? I'll be honest. I did not actually catch that. There is a mid-credit scene or after-credit scene.
It's all the jokes they make where they go, "Oh, you mean Washington with an E? Yeah, that Washington."
Right.
Yeah. That's what all those.
But I know they were all based on certain things, like you said, Hulk Hogan.
I think the T-Rex is a Jurassic Park reference. I don't remember what the last one was. A race car driver.
Yeah, and that's what I was trying to figure out. I was just trying to figure out the references there. That was the one that I literally paused. And I was like, what are they referencing here? Because there's a few things.
Yeah.
There's a little bit to process in this image here.
Yeah.
So, I mean, overall, that's I think it's worth watching. Honestly,
I just want them to. When it comes to production companies like Disney and Netflix, I just like when they toss money at things that are a little out of left field. I think Cruella was a little out of left field for Disney.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, it was within their spin of doing revitalized like live action stories of their old properties.
Yeah,
and it's a little boring in that regard. So. But like, it was to think that a bunch of people came together and said, "All right, we want to do a parody about the creation of America, and it has to be really funny and really stupid." And like, Netflix was like, "Yeah, here's like X amount of $1 million. You could probably raise a few kids in Germany for this amount of money, but it's fine." Right.
Yeah, I do hope studios like. I don't know who actually made. What was the production company that made
I think that's under the production company of Lord Miller called Free Association, but I'm not 100% sure.
Okay.
Because that's what they reference at the beginning when they're signing the declaration. Like right before that, it says like, "Oh, like signed by the Free Association 1776," something like that, right? They also did that at the beginning of Spider-Verse. They used the old Comics Association logo, but then they called it Comics Free Association.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and so I think that's their company. Kind of like Mission Impossible has Bad Robot, which is J.J. Abrams, or is that Tom Cruise's?
I think that's Tom Cruise.
Yeah, and so that's all Tom Cruise's production company.
It's good. I do agree. I think I want to see Disney. I want to see these companies step out and try out new things, and it's just a shame. I'm always a fan of that, but I'm always a shame. It was like. It's the equivalent for me like Mirror's Edge. I think Mirror's Edge was a phenomenal game that was super unique and super awesome, but it just doesn't get the sales and doesn't get the viewing that it needs to at least continue down the road of actually trying new things. And then we get stuck in a thing of just making Call of Duty over and over again, and a game, just seeing the same 12 IPs over and over. And
Battlefield has a grappling hook now. Everything will be better.
But it's Battlefield. That's my point. I really wish people would support new IPs, but it's hard. It's hard to get people to change. They always want to stick to... It's
hard from a production company because they need to have that trust, and it's hard from a viewer because you don't know what you're getting into.
Again, it's one of those, like, these companies do want to make new products. They want to try to make new things, but they never...
Give it a chance.
Why risk it, right? I mean, at the end of the day, they're a business, and they're trying to make money, and if they're going to make way more money doing old IPs, making another Elder Scrolls game than trying to make Starfield.
A good example of this thing, right? A good example of this thing that doesn't work but it can still misfire is Marvel right now. We wouldn't get a show like Loki and its weirdness that's going on. We wouldn't get a Guardians of Galaxies had not Avengers done well, had not all the other things that they've been doing had gone well. If those things had not gone well, they would have never risked the cool stuff about all the cool cosmic bullshit or like Doctor Strange and all the magic stuff. Like they would have made it much more tamer.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. And it's why I want to see these companies step out of the comfort zone, because I risk is good.
To do it.
Yeah.
I have more trust in Netflix to do it than I do in Disney.
Netflix is throwing a lot of money at a lot of different things, trying to create original stuff.
But they did have their safety run. They did. Marriage Story was a Noah Baumbach production, who does a lot of that kind of writing and stuff like that. He does a lot of very small oriented, small family focused sometimes dialogue movies. They had what's his name do The Irishman. That was Scorsese.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like they also had to have a little bit of time where they played it safe before they started throwing shit at the wall, kind of.
Yeah, it's true. They there's so many. I mean, if you actually look at Netflix, though, they have so many original shows. They have a ridiculous amount of original shows, but they hide a lot of them away. If you go down their original show list, it's there are shows you're like, what? Who's ever watched this?
They also just bought a lot of stuff too. Mm-hmm.
That's what I mean. They just threw money. I mean, I don't think they were doing any of the production themselves, really. I think they do now, maybe a little more. They get involved a bit more, but I think they really were just buying companies up and just,
you know what you should watch? Because I know you're starting to get into anime a little bit.
I haven't started yet. Not yet.
You should watch Dorohedoro. 12 episodes on Netflix. It's super short, super fast.
I still don't want to open those floodgates, man.
I'm trying to avoid it. Just do it, John.
If I open those floodgates, there is no end. And
yeah, but that
I will never have a life.
It's like when you started reading comics or when you started watching the comics, whatever you did, however you started on Marvel, it's like that. There's an infinite amount of content, but that doesn't mean that you didn't take a dive. And you knew when to stop and when to care and when not to care.
No, not really.
Stop this.
I just don't have the money to really get into deep dive into comics. Again, a lot of it is just Wikipedia deep dives. Just get on and then you go from Wikipedia jump.
Yeah, but that's like different, right? Like it's not like you're not spending your time watching. Sorry, I had to read a chat comment where it said I had a better beard than you, and
well, that's just true. I mean,
but like I don't know.
How long have you been growing that beard?
I never shaved.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
But I don't know, man. Like, I think that like any other type of film or a book or comic or video game, it's just you get what you get. It you can put in some amount of time and get out something out of it, and like you don't have to worry about investing more or less. That's on you. That's on your self control.
It's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Still,
and you're already scared of anime. You already said it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I know I'm going to enjoy it too much. That's the dangerous thing. I know I'm going to enjoy anime too much, so if I start, there's no end. There's so much out there. Everyone has like 12 plus that they want to recommend to you. Some of them are like 30 seasons long. I don't know, man.
Just don't watch Naruto. You don't need to do that. You're too old for it now anyways. Don't watch Bleach. It's not worth it. The first season's good, and after that it's all utter trash.
Okay.
Do watch Cowboy Bebop. It's 26 episodes. It's one of the best.
That's the one. I know that's the first one I'm gonna watch. I can guarantee you. That's everyone's recommended that one. It's just
don't watch. Do not watch High School DxD. You are way too old for it, and it'll make you feel uncomfortable. It's a little fan servicey, a little bit too much.
Okay.
Yeah, and don't listen to whoever that is in chat. What do you got? You guys got a plan for next episode yet?
Well, like I said, I guess I guess we should wrap this. I don't. What's coming out of my mouth right now? I don't know. Noises. I'm making noises. Nothing. I think words are not spewing.
It's really hard to talk about America because like we said, you should just watch it. There's nothing we can say about it. It's an exhausting
movie, that's for sure.
We could spoil the ending and it still wouldn't matter.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, so just go on and do it. Like I said, 1 silver bullet and one werewolf said is my rating, and you said 13 colonies away from British rule.
13 colonies away. I mean, if you know America, you know how this all plays out, right? They don't make it a full...
spoilers. America wins.
America wins. Congratulations.
But how they get there? That's the important part.
Oh, ridiculous. I love it. That was the Guardians reference when they shot the rocket launcher, by the way. That was a Guardians thing going on there.
Oh, you're right.
Uh-huh. It just clicked in my brain. See, they referenced everything.
Like, held hands and everything too, basically. God damn
it. So, all right. I guess we'll end this episode at some point.
I have another rating.
Really bad at okay.
1 beer out of 1 tea.
1 beer out of 1 tea. Got it. That's right. America versus Britain. Beer versus tea. That's how it goes. So, well, I know I can feel in my gut this was a very hectic episode, so I hope you guys followed along. Next week, Nessa should be back. We are probably going to be talking about Fast and the Furious. More than likely, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm 99%. Nessa's favorite actor is Vin Diesel. So anything Vin Diesel will ever be in, we will get to that as soon as possible, which I don't mind. I'm okay. I'm okay talking about Fast and the Furious. That might be a very long episode. I'm slowly working here. I want to start getting to where we do hour and 40-minute episodes. It's a bit long. But I feel we're already heading that direction, and it's just like, why fight it?
Time flies by when you're with your family.
Jesus Christ. Good amount of memes coming out of that. So, yeah, we'll probably do that. I did mention earlier that we did do Black Widow. So we watched Black Widow, or me and Daya did. Nessa still will need to. We will probably do that in maybe 2 weeks is the plan.
Oh, you should watch someone
he keeps telling me Mitchell's versus Machine.
So good. It's also a Netflix original that also deserves attention. Just saying.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah,
and it's by the same animation
I heard it got very mediocre.
Spider-Man.
Yes, I was aware. It was why I was interested, but
and you'll really
we got a backlog. I got a list of a bunch of stuff that we have. We got so many movies coming out now. I mean, we talked about Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi's August.
We probably won't.
July's. We should do Snake Eyes. You guys should do Snake Eyes at some point.
I don't know if Nessa would. I'm sure she'll like Snake Eyes. I don't know if we'll talk about it. I don't know how big of a G.I. Joe fan she is. So I don't know. Like, that's one I'll probably have my own personal review of, but I don't know if I'll have a...
If you want to do this...
Again, that's the
I know we're going to see Snake Eyes together. It's going to happen.
Yeah, I think we need to buy tickets. I'll buy tickets. When is it? Is it next week?
23rd.
It's 23rd?
Yeah,
we're like 2 weeks away, so I'll buy tickets like tonight or something. So
I know what movie you guys won't review.
Zola.
No. Well, yes. And also, I doubt you guys will see Jungle Cruise. I don't know why.
I know Ness is not excited about it.
I'm not excited.
I'm not excited about it. So, but maybe that's why we'll have to do it. Yeah. Maybe it'll be a perfect movie for this podcast.
Another page.
No, that's it. Just goodbye on one page. I didn't try to organize it that way, so I just type in them wherever long it goes. Because some of these I do a lot of copy and pasting stuff. So. Yeah. But that's what we got. Those are the teasers. That's the teaser for the next podcast. I'm hoping you guys enjoyed. We'll say that, make sure you check out. We talked about, I will be posting some supplemental content and images and stuff on social media. If you haven't watched the other episodes, I think we've had some really good ones. Honestly, the last like 4 or 5 have been really stellar. So if you haven't listened to those, if you're new, You can start at the beginning, skip over Outriders, and then do all the other episodes.
Why was wrong with Outriders?
I hated that episode so much. I did poorly. Nessa didn't play the game enough to really deep dive into it as much either, and I didn't want to spoil it for her, and it's why we just kind of threw out the whole, like, let's not go into spoilers, because she doesn't care. And I cut out like 3 entire sections on that episode. It was bad. I took out 3 entire conversations we had because I was just not a fan. It's all really boring. So,
well, if you like hearing my voice, and also you want to hear it next to John's, you can check out episode 7 of the Revelations podcast, which is a podcast me and Amelia, who's a friend of mine, host. We talk about game development and other stuff. We're on hiatus right now, but we are planning our next episode, so that'll be out soon, hopefully.
Yeah, Daya has his own podcast he does now. So
yeah, you might hear more of me. I might come on for a few guest episodes every so often here, but otherwise, yeah. Thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for checking out. And yeah, check out the movie. And we'll see you next time.
Yep. Dale will be back. You'll see him again. I hope you guys go watch America. Go watch Black Widow. Go watch all the movies because you'll hear about them here. And I hope you guys have you enjoy the greatest media ever created. America.
The motion picture.
I'll see you later.